I made a mistake today, and I knew better, and I still did it. So a recent lesson I've learned is to never tell another man that he's wrong. Or we can translate that and say that you can never win an argument. It doesn't matter that you're right. You can never win an argument, because if you can convince someone that they're wrong, even if they accept your version of what's going on as the truth, even if you convince them that you're right, you still win because you lose their respect. And if you lose your respect, then you lose. So that's what it comes down to. And I knew that. I knew that I couldn't win an argument. And I knew that I shouldn't try. And I knew to never tell another man that he's wrong. We all have room for improvement. And being open-minded to that concept is very important to be a valuable asset to society. And over the years, I've learned this the hard way. I've won a $5 bet because I knew that, that song, "Don't Give Up, You Got a Reason to Live" by the New Radicals. I knew that song was recorded and charted in the 90s, not in the 80s. And someone argued with me, and I said, finally, I'll bet you $5. And very quickly, they lost $5. I made another $5 bet with someone recently, well, like a year ago, about, that the Native American Indian that cries because someone throws garbage out the window. I said, that's not a Native American, that's someone who's Italian. No, it's not. No. I said, okay, I'll bet you $5 it is. And then they Googled it and realized I was right. But what I learned out of both of those experiences is they lost respect for me. Even though I was right, and they soon saw that I was right, they lost respect for me. And I saw that the moment I accepted their $5. So you can't win an argument. If you win, you lose by default. Because ultimately, psychologically, when we're trying to win an argument, the fundamental issue is we're trying to gain that person's respect. So if you convince them that they're wrong, then you take that ability away from them to respect you. Not to mention, there's something in Google this called identity protective cognition. I'll repeat it. Identity protective cognition. Okay? And what that means is that if you try to convince someone against their own belief set, it's an attack on their identity. It registers the same part in their brain where pain registers. So naturally, they're actually going to reinforce their own beliefs if you try to convince them otherwise. They feel physically attacked. It typically reinforces their own beliefs. And even in the rare event you actually convince them, they lose respect for you. So that's why you can't win an argument. And you should never tell another man he's wrong. And I did it again today, knowing all of this. Because I gave you those two examples. Well, this one was even more bizarre. It was so bizarre that there's no way this could have actually been right. And I've read books, I've watched documentaries. I know it was fact about the culture of America and how certain things started. I'm fascinated by people, and I love studying people. So I found out the origin of this one tradition that takes place in America, and their understanding of how it happened was just bizarre and didn't make sense at all. It was completely illogical. And I made the mistake of telling that person, unfortunately, you're believing something that actually isn't true. Let me just show you what actually happened. I messed up. I knew better. Never tell another man he's wrong. Identity protective cognition. You're only reinforcing their beliefs, and that's exactly what I did. It doesn't matter that you're right, because they're either going to reinforce their own beliefs the more you convince them otherwise, even if what you say is completely right and what they say is wrong. You're either going to reinforce their own beliefs, or you're going to cause them not to respect you. So I need to keep living my life, and next time one of these examples catches me by surprise, I've got to remember, let that person believe what they believe. The only way that I am aware of that you can help mold someone's wrong beliefs about something is to ask them questions instead of to tell them they're wrong or to suggest they're wrong, to instead sincerely ask them questions about that, questions that ultimately that don't add up to you. And then after you ask some of those questions, I say, okay, well, thanks for helping me understand that better. But ultimately, if anything, you're planting a seed of doubt in their mind because you've asked them through all these questions, you've basically built a case causing doubt. But never did you disrespect them. You were actually showing interest in their belief, even though it was wrong. Does it sound manipulative? Because it is. But these are lessons I've learned over time. They've made me a better person. So again, in closing, don't make the mistake I made today, even though I knew better. Never tell another person that they're wrong. And if you can convince them that they are wrong, they don't respect you, which defeats the fundamental issue. Why do we want to be right? Why do we want to prove to other people that we're right? We want their respect. We want them to like us and to find value in us. But that's not going to happen if we try to prove them wrong or we do prove them wrong. I'm Nick Shell. Learn from my mistakes.